can be no doubt that John was one of the greatest athletes of the day.
And such a powerful figure in our history.
Fullback Johnny Bright charges straight over center. Bright powers his way for 24 long yards, and the final stop by Jack Wire. Now the game's longest run comes to Johnny Bright.
At one point, the best average per carry in all of pro football was Johnny Bright, number 1, Jim Brown, number 2, and Barry Sanders, number 3. It's pretty good company.
He rewrote the record books. He scored 70% of their points. He got on the ground 70% of their yardage, all right? He was the threat, and they couldn't stop him.
An Edmonton drive that carried 68 yards in 11 remorseless plays.
He just had an ability that transcended everyone else.
We need to acknowledge that what was going on here was racism.
See, that's the part of trailblazing that America forgets. The emotions, the fear, the uncertainty.
And while a lot of people define his career by that incident, he didn't allow it to be defined by that incident.
Few spectacles compared to the pageantry, tradition, and passion of college football. Celebrated over generations, the popularity of college football has transformed the sport into a billion-dollar business. In today's game, a majority of players on Division I teams are African American. These black athletes are often touted as multi-talented trailblazers, the new physical prototype, the first of their kind. But there was one player before them who truly revolutionized the game, a player who was 70 years ahead of his time, Johnny Bright. Bright was the original dual threat, exceptional at both passing and rushing.
Johnny Bright, man, was one of the most dominant football players in America. You know, his versatility, what he did as a running back, the great athlete that he was, you know, football, basketball, track. This guy was tremendous.
You know, I appreciate a lot of what Johnny Bright went through in his career. It was definitely an inspiration for me reading the stories about guys like that, like Johnny Bright, on what they had to go through in order to play a position that they loved. Knowing what these guys had gone through before me, it made me just a little bit tougher that, hey, if these guys can do it and get to where they wanted to, then I can do it too.
The playing days of Johnny Bright look far different than how college football is played today. Back then, virtually all the players were white. And if you were one of the few African-American players on a predominantly white team, you faced the potential of racial animosity and even violence on the field. Michigan player George Jewett, the first black player to compete in the Big Ten, had to endure the endless chants of "kill the coon" while competing in away games. In the 1930s, Iowa Hawkeye running back Ozzie Simmons constantly faced the prospect of injury. It was alleged that his teammates would intentionally not block for him. In one game, he was knocked out 3 times.
Simmons continually ran up against issues with his teammates. So one paper called him the lad who ran alone, because there were insinuations that his white teammates failed to block for him. Can you imagine the humiliation and the disappointment and the rejection? Your own team doesn't fight for you.
Usually if you were a brother, you were the only one. And so you were targeted for extra punishment in an already brutal game. I mean, the game of football is brutal. So, and so you can cover a lot of racism with the brutality of the game. Well, we weren't being racist, we were just being brutal. You know, and the brother usually was like one of the best players on the team, so well, we got to get him out.
The unchecked racial targeting and violence against black college football players took the most tragic turn with Iowa State player Jack Trice.
Jack Trice was the first black athlete at Iowa State University. And at basically his second game, the team traveled to the University of Minnesota. And the night before the game, Trice was staying in a hotel. They were practicing racial segregation at the hotel in the sense that he was separated from his teammates when he ate meals and these types of things.
He had to stay in his room, eat in his room. He had a single, and that's when he wrote the letter, you know, to talk about, you know, his place. And the thing about it is he knew his place. He wasn't comfortable with it, but those were the, you know, the times.